This is my TNA Turning Point 2008 pay-per-view review. First off, gotta say it was overall a pretty good pay-per-view. The opening matchup was an X Division 10-man seating match with the participants being Consequences Creed, the Guru of Sonjay Dutt, Petey Williams, Jimmy Rave, Volador Jr., Eric Young, Doug Williams, Tanahashi, Homicide, and Jay Lethal. And I felt this was a good opener, but wasn't as to the level I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be an incredible opener. I felt some guys didn't get showcased to the level that they should have been, and especially some of the eliminations went way too quick. Especially, I definitely didn't expect at the beginning of the match Sonjay Dutt to be the first person eliminated. He was eliminated by Volador Jr. So let me just get through the eliminations. Sonjay Dutt gets eliminated first by Volador. Then up next, Jimmy Rave eliminates Volador. Then Doug Williams eliminates Jimmy Rave. Homicide then gets eliminated by himself after he hits a tope con hilo through the crowd, and his shoulder or his back hit the guardrail. So it looked like actually a legit injury. Hopefully Homicide didn't re-aggravate his shoulder injury, because that would be devastating to him if he did. I don't know how long he would be out if he did re-aggravate it. Hopefully maybe it was work, but definitely didn't look like it, due to the fact, you saw the replay. Definitely looked clearly that his shoulder or his spine of his back hit the guardrail, and definitely looked like he possibly injured himself. Then the next elimination was Creed got eliminated by Petey Williams after the Canadian Destroyer. Then Tanahashi gets eliminated by Petey Williams after Tanahashi eliminates Williams after a frog splash. So he did get an elimination. I was expecting Tanahashi to do a little more in this match. I was hoping for, because definitely he's one of the best guys outside of the United States, especially in Japan. He's probably my favorite wrestler over in Japan, especially in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I wish TNA would showcase him more instead of just putting him in these type of matches. I wish, possibly with TNA and New Japan Pro Wrestling having an agreement, have him come over more often. Definitely I would like to see him over more often. Then up next is Lethal eliminates Tanahashi after an inside cradle. Then the final four are Eric Young, Doug Williams, Jay Lethal, and Eric Young. Or let me see through that again. Then Eric Young eliminates Doug Williams, which then after Doug Williams, the final two, which I meant to say final three right there. The final two were Eric Young and Jay Lethal. Eric Young picks up the victory. Kind of shocked that he won. I thought, Consequences Crew, Jay Lethal won, but would have won this. But it was overall a good opener, just not a great opener like I was expecting. About a 3-star match. And Eric Young will get a title shot for the X Division title, probably either at an Impact or possibly at next month's Final Resolution pay-per-view. Then up next was the TNA Knockouts Tag Team match with Amazing Kong, Raisha, Saeed versus Taylor Wilde and Roxxi. And this was a good tag match, pretty much a cool-down match after the match previously before this. Saw some good stuff with Amazing Kong and Roxxi. Pretty much just an average women's tag match, what you would expect from these competitors. And the way the match ends is Taylor Wilde pins Raisha Saeed after a bridge German suplex in a 2-star match. Then the next matchup was Sheik Abdul Bashir versus Rhino in a non-title grudge match, which I was hoping they would have the X Division title on the line in this match. I don't understand why they didn't. It would have made the allure of the match look a whole lot better than what it actually did. This was probably easily the worst match of the night between these two, and you probably expected that. Nothing really good in here. Rhino picks up the victory after a gore to Sheik Abdul Bashir, and I would say at best a 1.5-star match. Then up next was the surprising match of the night that I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and that was Beer Money Incorporated, James Storm and Robert Roode versus Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns. And this was just a great tag match. These two teams worked very well with each other. And Beer Money Incorporated did retain the titles after they did their combo snap neckbreaker and powerbomb to Chris Sabin. And, just a good overall tag match. Really enjoyed it. kind of had a little old school feel to it, a little just a tag match that I would like to see TNA do more often. And definitely, I gotta say that even though I'm not a fan of James Storm and Robert Roode, I gotta say that them two together are really proven that they've, as not as singles wrestlers, but formed as a team, are actually doing good stuff. And definitely kind of glad they did retain. I feel that Motor City Machine Guns, if they would have got the victory, it would have been kind of idiotic due to the fact the way the Motor City Machine Guns have been booked. This whole entire year, it would have made Beer Money Incorporated look idiotic. And it was great tag match, 3.5 stars. Then up next was Booker T versus Christian Cage for the Legends title, and this was just start to finish was completely boring. I know some people might have enjoyed this match. I didn't enjoy it at all. Just what I expect from this match. It was at least watchable, at least average. Decent at best. Nothing to write home about. Booker T wins like you would expect, with Christian Cage now joining the main event Mafia. So it's going to be interesting to see what route they go on with that. He'll probably, be still on the side. It'll be like, what side is he on? Then later down the line, obviously, he'll show his allegiance and show that all this time along he's been with the main event Mafia and been wanting to join them anyway and turn against the young guys. You'll probably see that either in the Impacts coming up for the next pay-per-view or down the line, depending on how long TNA wants to build it up. Then the next matchup was Kurt Angle versus Abyss in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and these two really put together a good match. Brawled all over the arena, good stuff inside the ring. Abyss pretty much, gave everything to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle kept giving stuff back. Just a very good match, a whole lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting, this just to be, an okay match, but it was a whole lot better than what I was expecting. The one thing that really did hurt this match was the ending of this match, which was both of them fighting on this little scaffold above the Spanish announce broadcasting table, and it was only like possibly a 4 to 5 foot drop, and Abyss fell through there. But I guess maybe through all the stuff that they did during the match against each other, it made it look okay, but I thought it still looked very weak for the finish, so that really hurt it. If that wasn't the finish, it would have had a better finish. This possibly could have been a 3-star to 3 1/4 star, but really hurt the ending of the match. Really hurt it, so I'll give it 2 3/4 stars. Then the next matchup was Kevin Nash versus Samoa Joe, and this was a watchable match. What you would probably expect between these two, you didn't expect to see something great. This was kind of like Cena and Khali, where you knew going into it you weren't going to see anything that good, that great, but you would see at least something watchable. And these two did pull off some decent stuff between each other, a lot of brawling at the beginning. Nash hit 2 jackknife power bombs to Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe then, before the second power bomb was busted open, then the way the match ends is Kevin Nash low blows Samoa Joe, rolls him up, uses the ropes for leverage, and picks up the victory. So, right now 3-0 for the main event Mafia of this evening, and Kevin Nash picks up the victory. And the way they did it, it kind of hurt Joe's credibility a little, but not that much due to the fact how much it took Nash to have him defeat it. So I'll give it 2 stars. Then up next was AJ Styles versus Sting for the TNA World Heavyweight title. And these two did put on a good match. Just another match with the ending of this match really hurting it. Not because of Sting retaining the title. Let me get that out already. Sting did retain the title, which I was expecting to happen anyway, because they had to have him retain the title for storyline development with the main event Mafia and young guys feud anyway. So it would have looked stupid if he would have lost this title. These two did put on a good match. The way this match ended, it ended very weak. With the match ends when Booker T and Kurt Angle come out there. They distract AJ Styles. AJ Styles knocks them both to the floor. Then pretty much Sting rolls them up out of nowhere, and that's the end of the match. Which Sting, technically due to distraction, didn't win it fairly, but still it will look very weak. I would have much rather seen, some type of beatdown on AJ Styles, and then AJ Styles put in the Scorpion Deathlock, and then not be able to tap out, but he passes out. It would have probably worked out a whole lot better if they would have went that route, but still, nonetheless, a good match. 3.5 stars, a whole lot better than Sting's match from Bound for Glory, I would say. And the ending was the only thing that hurt it. So that was pretty much the only thing that hurt some of these matches of this evening was the endings kind of came out of nowhere, and the opening match, I would say the eliminations were way too quick. But overall, I would say definitely a good TNA pay-per-view. You had, a great tag team match, a very great good to great main event, good overall opener, and everything else was pretty solid. The only thing that was really bad was probably Rhino versus Sheik Abdul Bashir. So I definitely would say definitely worth checking this pay-per-view out. I would give it a 7.5, possibly even a 7.75. And yeah, that's it. Peace.